This is Theater USA. Tonight, in person, Vinton Friedley, Hildegard, Jimmy Durante, and Margaret Sullivan in the Edna Ferber George S. Kaufman success Stage Door. This is Theater USA. Theater USA, a presentation of the American Broadcasting Company and the American National Theater and Academy, is on the air. First, here is your master of ceremonies, one of America's most famous and distinguished theatrical producers, and the president of the American National Theater and Academy, Mr. Vinton Friedley.
Thank you, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. In 1936, I was in the midst of producing a musical called Red, Hot, and Blue. The score was by Cole Porter. The book was by Howard Lindsay and Russell Krauss. Bob Hope played one of the leads, and Ethel Merman was another. From my point of view, the show was cast. But Lindsay and Krauss felt we needed a third name. The man they suggested was, they said, somewhere in Italy. So I called the American Embassy in Rome and asked if they had a large-nosed comedian traipsing around. Sure enough, an American answering that description was on the island of Capri. I called Capri, got the man, identified myself, and offered him the job. I told him I had booked a passage for him on the Berengaria. "The deal's off," he shouted over the transatlantic phone. "I don't fly no Zeppelins." Well, it cost me $40 to convince him that the Berengaria was a ship and not the dirigible Hindenburg, but it was worth it. Worth it not only as a star of Red, Hot, and Blue, but as the star of many Broadway plays and Hollywood pictures. He's become one of America's greatest and certainly its best-loved comedians. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jimmy Durante.
You've got to start off each day with a song.
Oh, that's my man now.
Now, even when things go wrong,
Listen to that voice.
why, you feel better, you even look better. Let me hear those violins. I'm in great voice tonight. It reminds me of a recital I gave at Carnegie Hall. It was delightful chamber music, and they came from miles around.
Who came?
Chambermaids. Who else? I got a million of them. Let me hear that band. You've got to start off each day with a song. Now, even when things go wrong, why, you feel better, you even look better. Huh? I wish this was a giveaway program. I'd like to get rid of that note. But all kidding aside, am I happy to be in New York? Boy, when I got off the train, I was walking on air.
Walking on air?
Yeah, the porter forgot to put down the stool. But Vinton, I used to call him Vincent. But Vincent, who do I meet? But a bunch of the boys from my old neighborhood dancing class. Hit him in the head, Schwartz. Chip on the shoulder, McNulty. And knife in the pocket, Jaime.
Jimmy, that sounds like a pretty tough neighborhood.
Tough? Why, in my neighborhood, any cat that had a tail was a tourist. And any kid with ears was a sissy. But Vincent, the next stop in my old neighborhood was my old grammar school, PS 6 and 7/8. And just for old time's sake, I goes into my old schoolroom to my old school teacher, old Rosalie Schultz.
I bet your old teacher was surprised to see you.
Yes, and when I walked in, she said, "James Durante, you ought to be ashamed to come back to this room. Why, you flunked out of my class because you didn't know who the President of the United States was."
Jimmy, is that true?
Yes, but remember in those days, they used to change him more often. But that is neither theater, U.S. or A. You know, Vincent, I'd like to sing a song, but I ain't got no one to sing it with me.
I can sing, Jimmy.
Your voice is too high.
What about me?
Candy Candido, your voice is too low.
You know, I'm always feeling mighty low.
Yeah?
Tonight I'm feeling mighty high.
There's your partner, Jimmy.
Come out, my pretty kitten. We will serenade the moon.
Not now.
Come out, come out, come out, my pretty kitten. We will sing a little song.
When the folks got home tonight, at 12 or thereabouts, they locked the door and they forgot to put me out.
Oh, come out, come out, come out, my pretty kitten. Nya.
Jimmy,
Yes, my Fraulein.
what are your plans?
Well, I plan to get married and have a little alley all my own. And someday, perhaps, settle down on a lovely picket fence with a house all around it.
But I'm afraid that's not enough. I want a large ball of yarn all my own that I can unravel all day.
Oh.
And I know you'll never be able to afford that.
Then I suppose it's goodbye, kitten?
No! I was only fooling. I think you're the cat's pajamas.
Too late for flattery. I have a Maltese up the street who scratches a window every time I pass.
Jimmy!
Yes?
Can I come out? Come out? Come out, my pretty Jimmy. We will serenade the moon.
Nya, nya.
Oh, my dear, let's have one little kiss. Please, Jimmy, and whisper words of life.
Nya, nya.
I will let you stroke my head. My hair is soft as silk.
Stay up there, 'cause I won't share my saucer of milk.
Can I come out?
Nya,
Come out?
nya.
Come out, my pretty Jimmy.
Coax me.
Meow.
I'm weakling. You got me.
Meow.
Yes, nya.
Oh, Jimmy!
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Thank you, Candace Candido and Jimmy Durante. Today, there is in show business a name the mere mention of which is enough to conjure up visions of bubbling loveliness, of sparkling talent, of a chanteuse without a peer. Ladies and gentlemen, the incomparable Hildegard.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I have a charming little song which was especially written for me, and it's simply called, "Oh, My Darling, Won't You Play, Play, Play." And please excuse me if I'm a bit commercial. Can't resist this. I'm going to record this next Monday at 2 o'clock. Decca. Oh, my darling, play something for me, just for me. Darling, you know how it should go. Da-da-dee-dee-dee-dee. Play it gladly, play it madly, for no one can play it like you. And our world will become our own ballroom floor. The spotlights are not lights, but something more. They're moonbeams, they're dancing and trancing and gay. Oh, my darling, won't you play, play, play? Oh, my darling, play something for me, just for me. Darling, you know how it should go. Play it gladly, play it madly, for no one can play it like you. And our world will become our own ballroom floor. The spotlights are not lights, but something more. They're moonbeams, they're dancing and trancing and gay. Oh, my darling, oh, darling, won't you play, play, play?
And a rose for Hildegard. Of all the plays written for and about the theater in modern times, certainly the finest and most successful was Stage Door by those two excellent craftsmen, Edna Ferber and George S. Kaufman. The star of that play was one of the most beautiful and talented actresses in America. You've seen her in innumerable motion pictures and Broadway plays, the last of which was The Voice of the Turtle. We are truly honored to have her with us tonight to recreate her original role of Terry Randall. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Margaret Sullivan. While the rest of the cast assembles, I would like to set the scene for a vignette of Edna Ferber's and George S. Kaufman's Stage Door. During the next few minutes, let us imagine that a play opened on Broadway last night. When the curtain rang down, a new star arose over Broadway, Terry Randall. This morning, her bed covered with congratulatory telegrams and newspapers open to the theatrical page, Terry Randall sits and marvels at it all, sits and wonders how it happened.
I shall never forget, never in a million years. Every step of the way is as clear to me now as it was 5 years ago. The manager's offices with the no casting signs on the doors, the cokes in the drugstores, the hopes in the auditions, the heartaches, the brush-offs, the tears. Mrs. Orcutt, the house mother, Jean Maitland, Kay Hamilton, Judy, Linda, Susan. They are all girls who lived in the rehearsal club. I shall never forget them. Nor the night I burst in to tell them the most glorious news I'd gotten since I'd arrived in New York. Look, what do you think? I've got a job.
You haven't.
Oh, yes.
Tell us about
Terry,
it.
how
Tell us all
wonderful.
about
Oh, is
it.
it Burger? Yes, Burger.
I thought he was all cast.
He was, all except this one part. Oh, it's not big, but it's good. It's got one wonderful scene, you know, one of those gamuts.
Oh, it sounds marvelous. Terry, you'll be wonderful. When do you go into rehearsal, Terry?
I go right away.
Oh, gosh, Terry, you certainly got a break. Burger wouldn't even talk to me.
Oh, Burger's an awful meanie. How'd you get to him anyway?
I just stood there outside his door for a week.
And that did the trick?
I tried that.
Never helped me any. Me neither. I laid there for a whole afternoon once with welcome on me.
I've had a longer run outside that office than I've had with most shows. This was my second week. I was just going to send off a toothbrush and a camp chair. When suddenly he opened the door, he was going. I said, Mr. Burger. That's practically all I've said for 2 weeks. Mr. Burger. Mr. Burger. Mr. Burger. Mr. Burger.
What'd he do?
He never even stopped. Suddenly I was furious. I grabbed his arm and said, listen, you're a producer and I'm an actress. What right have you got to barricade yourself behind closed doors and not see me? And hundreds like me. The greatest actress in the world might be coming up your stairs and you never even know it.
Terry, what did he say?
He said, are you the greatest actress in the world? I said, maybe. He said, you don't look like anything to me. You're not even pretty and you're just a little runt. I said, pretty. I suppose Rachel was pretty. And what about Nazimova? She's no higher than this. But on a stage, she's any height she wants to be.
P.S. She got the job.
Yes. Oh, and when I worked on Broadway again, it seemed the most glamorous street in the world. Those beautiful orange juice stands, and that lovely traffic at Broadway and 45th, and those darling bums spitting on the sidewalk.
Girls,
Yes, Mrs. Orcutt.
dinner's ready.
Come on, let's eat. Mrs. Orcutt's food never tasted better than it did that night. She could have served us raw eggs and uncooked cauliflower. I wouldn't have known the difference. I was that happy. 5 weeks later, everything had changed.
Terry, what's the matter?
Young lady, willing, talented, not very beautiful, finds herself at liberty. Will double in brass, will polish brass, will eat brass before very long. Hi, girl.
Terry, what is it?
We closed 4 performances, and we closed.
Oh, how ghastly.
Oh, you'll get something else, Terry. You got swell notices in this one.
Nobody remembers notices except the actors who get them.
The movie scouts remember. Oh, what about your screen test?
No, I'm not counting on that. They might take Jean. She's got that camera face. They'll never burn up the coast wires over me.
Oh, Jean can't act. You're 10 times the actress that she is.
How do you know who's an actress and who isn't? You're an actress if you're acting.
Without a job in those lines to say an actress is just an ordinary person trying not to look as scared as she feels. What is there about it anyhow? Why do we all keep trying? I shall never forget that night. When I watered down all the spilt milk I could find, I went upstairs. My roommate, Jean Maitland, was out with Mr. Kingsley. I knew David then as a New York executive for a movie studio. Jean and I had made screen tests for the company, but naturally we had heard nothing. Once in my room, I undressed, turned out the lights, and crept into bed. Instead of sheep, I counted the number of times the electric sign outside our window flashed on and off. Sleep wouldn't come to me. And then suddenly the door was thrown open, the lights flicked on, and Jean Maitland was shouting joyously at me.
Terry, wake up.
What's the matter?
We're in the movies.
What?
Both of us. We're in the movies. They just heard from the coast.
Jean, how do you know what happened?
Mr. Kingsley just got the telegram. They liked the tests and we're to go to the office tomorrow to sign our contracts. We leave for the coast next week. Oh, Terry, can you believe it?
You mean right away?
Of course, we'll only get little parts in the beginning. But there's that beautiful check every week, whether you work or not. And the swimming and the sunshine and those little ermine jackets up to here. It's a 7-year contract if they take up the options.
7 years? What about the stage? Suppose I wanted to act.
Well, what do you think this is, juggling?
Oh, no, I couldn't.
You couldn't what?
That isn't acting out in Hollywood. That's piecework. You're not a human being. You're a thing in a vacuum. Noise shut out. Human response shut out. But in the theater, when you hear that lovely sound out there, then you know you're right. It's as though they'd turned on an electric current that hit you here. That's how you learn to act.
You can learn to act in pictures. You have to do it till it's right.
Yeah, and then they put it in a tin can like soup. And if you die the next day, it doesn't matter a bit. You don't even have to be alive to be in pictures.
And I suppose you call this being alive, sleeping in a room in this rotten dump.
All I know is I want to stay on the stage. I just don't want to be in pictures. I wanted to be an actress in the theater my whole life. It isn't just a career, it's a feeling. The theater is something that's gone on for hundreds and hundreds of years. I don't know, it's part of civilization.
All right, you stay here with your civilization, eating those stews and tapiocas they shove at us, towing the mark in this female seminary, buying your clothes at Klein's. That's what you like, huh?
Yes, I like it.
I suppose you like this insane racket going on all night. Listen to it. You like it?
Yes, I do.
And that car sign going on and off like a lighthouse?
Yes.
I suppose you got to have that to be an actress.
Yes.
Well, not for me. I'm going out where there's sunshine and money and fun.
And little ermine swimming pools up to here. Now, shall I forget what happened during the 2 years that followed that night? Jean, of course, went to Hollywood. The next time I saw her was 2 years later. She was a movie star. David Kingsley used to give me regular reports on her career. Yes, I'd been seeing David quite frequently. Why he remained with the picture company was more than I could understand. He had been a producer, a Broadway producer. He had taste and talent and understanding. And he believed in me as an actress. Even so, it wasn't long before I had to appear as a salesgirl in the blouse department of a large store. And then Jean Maitland returned to New York. The head of her studio, Adolf Retzel, was putting on a play for her to star in. Only Jean was not an actress. They found that out a week before the opening. And so, at 11:30 one night last week, David brought Mr. Gretzel to the Footlights Club. I'd been sleeping, but I hurried downstairs in my robe and muse. I shall never forget that the light in the sitting room hurt my eyes.
Terry, I suppose I needn't tell you why we're here at this hour. Could you start rehearsing tomorrow morning in this play of Mr. Gretzel's and open in a week?
Wait a minute, Kingsley. Not so fast. Let me get a look at her first. Oh. This is the party you just now described to me?
Terry, I know what you can do, but Mr. Gretzel doesn't. Will you read a couple of speeches of the play and let him hear you?
Now?
Would you, Terry?
Oh, well, I'll try.
How about this bit here?
May I look at it a second, just to
Yes,
get...
of course. You know, Mr. Gretzel, it's rather difficult to jump right into a character.
Go on. What's difficult about it? We do it every day in pictures. Well, come on, young lady. Well?
All right. Look, boys, I haven't got any right to stand up here and tell you what to do. Only maybe I have got a right, see? Because, look... Oh, that isn't right. Because, look... Do you mind if I start all over, Mr. Gretzel?
All right. Go ahead. Start over.
Look, boys...
Got a cigar, Kingsley?
Look, boys, I haven't got any right to stand up here and tell you what to do.
Got a match?
Only maybe I have got a right, see, because... Look, I'm engaged to be married. You all know who it is. He's right here in this hall.
Yes, sir.
Oh, in this hall. So if you fellas vote to do this, why, I guess it's no wedding bells for me. Don't kid yourself. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Got another match, Kingsley?
Because I've been through it before. I've been through it with my old man and my brother, so I ought to know. It means...
What time is it?
No, I can't do it. I can't. I won't go on.
You're a fool if you do.
You'll have to excuse me, Kingsley. I'm just a plain-spoken man. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but in my opinion, this young lady's not anything at all. Not anything.
I'm sorry, Terry. No one could look a great actress in bathrobe and slippers. And Mr. Gretzel only knows what he sees.
Kingsley, are you working for me or against me?
I'm working for you. What are you going to do about your play tomorrow?
I'm going to throw it in the ash can. All I wanted for was for Jean Maitland so she could make a picture of it. All right, so she'll do something else. I can get plenty of material.
It's incredible that anyone should be so stupid.
Mr. Kingsley, you are out. You'll hear from our lawyers in the morning.
Oh, David.
No, it's all right, Terry. Gretzel, if you've lost your interest in the play, how about selling it to me?
So you're going back into the theater, huh?
I might. Will you sell it to me?
How much?
Just what it cost you.
All right, see Becker in the morning. He'll fix it up. Good night.
Good night.
And I'm the stupid one from...
David, oh, darling, you mustn't do this just for me.
No. I'm not one of those boys who puts on a play just so that his girl can act in it. By the way, you are my girl, aren't you, Terry?
Oh. Yes, sir.
I just thought I'd ask.
I'm sorry, Mr. Kingsley, but it's against the rules for my girls to be kissing gentlemen.
Mrs. Orcutt, it's a play.
My apologies, Mrs. Orcutt. This may look a little strange, but I came up on business.
Oh, Mrs. Orcutt, I'm going to do the play.
Terry, my child.
Oh, darling, you're tired. You must get your sleep. Good night.
Good night.
11 in the morning.
I'll be
at the
there.
music box.
Terry, dear, I'm so happy for you. Aren't you thrilled?
I was like Victoria when they came to tell her that she was queen.
Oh, dear child. But now you must run along to bed and get some sleep.
Oh, no, I have to learn my part. And I must be alone. I want a room by myself tonight, please, Mrs. Orcutt.
Yes, I'll see what I can do.
Now that I'm queen, I wish in future to have a bed and a room of my own.
Thank you, Margaret Sullivan. And thanks also to Les Trebain, Ann Burr, Ralph Locke, Terry Rice, Jacqueline Suzanne, and Ruth York. Next week,
Vinton Friedley, Marilyn Maxwell, Ted Lewis, Henny Youngman, Charles Lawton, and a scene from one of his greatest successes. This is Theater USA.
to the people of the USA, from the people of the theater, our thanks for your interest, your time, your attention. ANTA, the American National Theater and Academy, was chartered by the Congress of the United States to bring the best in the theater to the 48 states in the nation. Through these broadcasts, we hope in part to carry on that pledge.